Come on, man.
Gotta do it, babe. Gotta do it.
Brandon, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Cheers.
My drugs are everywhere. They were never my thing, but here I am running the biggest drug cartel in the world. The only downside is having to live in the middle of nowhere. You know, these ruins are technically undiscovered. I just added a few touches to remind me of home. I grew up on all that awesome 50s nostalgia. Grease, American Graffiti, Happy Days. But I digress. The thing you need to understand is the hard work and ingenuity it took to achieve a global monopoly on the drug trade. And that's all.
All right, movie dopers, minute 13 of Kingsman 2. And of course, we get Eggsy agreeing to drink with the guys and agreeing to give this video a like to feed that YouTube algorithm. All right, had to do that. But then we go in and have one of those beautiful transitions like we saw in the Secret Service, going into the snow globe that featured into Mark Hamill's rescue mission or rescue attempt by the guy, I'm blanking on his name, but he was in the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy and also in Coupling, and fantastic actor. But anyway, we see that they smoke weed and we get this nice introduction to Poppy, the slow zoom in through her Poppy land and her as a person, and also a love letter to all the Americana that Matthew Vaughn loved consuming from Britain, from the other side of the pond, and a nice big layout of Poppy land, so we know it for all the future scenes and for the third act climax. It's a nice introduction, and there's a fun story behind it. Originally, I guess there was a golden triangle or something for the drug trade, and it goes through a whole evolution of it becoming a golden square and a golden hexagon and then a golden circle, but it didn't translate. People didn't know what they were talking about. I wouldn't have known what they were talking about, so instead it gets into her actual character. Instead of just the backstory and the chronology of the organization, it gets into her character, which was a smart call ultimately. But then we have that nice long pull-in shot, and right before we get our introduction of Poppy at what will be the 14-minute mark. But it's another nice nod to Kingsman, the Secret Service, without being unnatural or forced, and especially pushing into just a big bag of weed and turning that into a forest to go into undiscovered ruins at Poppy Land is just really smart. It's going into the actual story of the threat and how the threat is implemented. It's through drugs instead of free SIM cards, all while being a good callback to the Secret Service. But go below and check out my event page for a The Kingsman screening that I'm buying. I'm buying out a movie theater, inviting friends and anyone else who wants to join. And if you support on Patreon, then I'm taking all that money and putting it towards a post party where we can all gather together and talk about what we loved about The Kingsman and the other movies, and our excitement for the future installments like the Statesman spinoff, the proper Kingsman 3, The Kingsman 2, which someone on Reddit revealed there's a post-credit scene teasing that, and it's pretty awesome. I saw an early screening, I'm so jealous. And the Kingsman TV show, 8-episode TV show that Matthew Vaughn wants to do as well. But cool. Tell me what moment you were most excited about in the comments, and check out the playlist of the other minutes if you haven't seen them. But I'll see you in minute 14. Thanks, movie dopers.